Greetings! I'd like to take a few moments and show you how to add a custom header image to your OP Rescast program configuration. All too often, individuals will be trying to get a nice graphical logo because, well, the actual text and plain black background's not very aesthetic. So what often happens is you'll click Edit Header, and it'll say the image size must be 270 pixels by 900. Well, let's go ahead and grab a logo and see how that works. So we're going to go ahead and jump into our downloads really quickly and double click on our file. And all too often you'll get an error. Either the file's too big or it's not the exact resolution that they want. So how do we make a file that's just the right size and just the right resolution? Let me show you. It's pretty easy. We're going to go ahead and click our cancel button. Step 1. Let's go ahead and get a copy of our logo. There's a few places you can look. For example, we're going to use the NCOPE logo as an example here. If I right click on that, usually you can get the option to save image as, unless you have some sort of image blocking technology, which actually NCOPE does have for our website, because we want to make sure that we maintain proper copyright. But don't worry, there's usually a couple of other ways to work through that. Let's hop and visit our good old friend Google. If you go to google.com/images, you'll see it looks like Google, but it'll show you this images logo here. And now we can search for the NCOPE logo. And ta-da! We found a whole bunch of images. And what you want to do is find the image that doesn't have a lot of border or space around it, ideally. This one looks pretty good right here. So what you can do now is left click on the item and it'll show you a large format version of it. And if we actually save a copy to our computer, now we can actually work with it utilizing some free software that's available on the web. I right clicked on it and I chose Save Image As, and I'm going to go ahead and save it as NCOPE logo new, just so I know what to call it. And just so I don't lose it, let's put it right on my desktop. Without further ado, let's check out Canva. Canva is a really neat app to do some really quick graphic editing. If you type in canva.com, you'll be prompted to log in. Don't worry, it's actually free, and if you already happen to have a Facebook account or a Google account, it'll let you sign in pretty darn quickly. So let's go ahead and sign in with my Facebook account, for example. I'm going to go ahead and type in my Facebook email address and password. And what'll happen is it'll ask you, do you have permission to share your Facebook info with Canva? And it's just verifying that you're a real person and not a computer. I'm going to click continue as myself, and without further ado, you're taken into Canva. So you remember there was a really specific resolution that we needed to utilize for the OP Rescast configuration portal. We can do that easily. Just click on the green button here that says Create a Design and choose Custom Dimensions. Those custom dimensions have to be exactly 900 by 270. And you want to leave PX, that stands for pixels. I'm going to create our design. Now, we've got to get our logo somehow into our box that's exactly the right size. It's easy. Just click Uploads and upload an image. And what we can do now is go to our desktop and let's find the image that we were working with earlier. And we see NCOPE logo new. Let's open that one up, and it usually takes a few seconds to upload that file. But once it uploads, it should appear right at the top below your Upload Image button. And you can click on it with your mouse and pull it over. And what's neat is as you slide it up and down, left and right, it'll give you these little pink guide bars. And if you see a pink line straight up and down and straight left to the right, you've officially centered your logo. You could even stretch it out a little bit if you'd like, and I think I'm going to do that now. And I'm going to go back one more time and just make sure everything's re-centered. Now, I have my image perfectly set. All I need to do is get it back into the WebAdmit configuration portal. So let's go ahead and call this WebAdmit Logo 1. Just something that you can think of. Go ahead and click your down button for download. It's going to give you PNG by default. That doesn't work so well. You actually want to choose JPEG, and that'll give you a nice small file size. And by default, it'll give you the ability to tweak the quality to 80. That's fine. If you don't see this little slider button, don't worry about it. You can still hit the download button. And it's usually pretty good about creating a file that is just the right size for uploading. So we have a copy of it right here. I'm going to click this button, go Show in Folder, so I have it visible and available for me. And let's go back into our configuration portal. Let's click Edit Header one more time and browse. And we're going to use our brand new file that we just downloaded here. So let's go ahead and choose WebAdmit Logo 1 was our new file that we just made. We're going to go ahead and click Open. And that's good news. If you see the picture change in the background, that's awesome. It may or may not update until you hit the Save button. Don't worry if it doesn't. The other thing you want to do is it says, do you want to show the headline text? And I'd say no, because what that can do is actually ultimately tweak and hide anything that may be blocking the logo. Let's go ahead and hit our Save button really quickly. And we've done a nice job of putting that in, and you're probably a little bit worried about all of that black headline text that's there. One way to check what the candidate sees is go back to Program Details. Then click your eyeball for preview, and you'll see that we now have our logo positioned and placed here. You can always shrink it down or expand it a little bit if you'd like, but in general, you'll find that it works pretty darn well. I wanted to walk you through those steps quickly so that you can get your logo up. Hopefully this was helpful. Thank you for your time.